Welcome to the BizTech Pulse Podcast. Today we have Saurabh Taparia, a seasoned finance leader with over 20 plus years of experience, currently serving as finance director at Dubai Holding Group, a chartered accountant and an alumni of IIM Ahmedabad. Saurabh has built his reputation on driving financial excellence and strategic growth across global markets. Renowned for his expertise in business partnering, financial control, analytics, and performance reporting, he excels at aligning international strategies with local objectives and leading transformation through digital innovation. Saurabh is recognized for his collaborative leadership, having spearheaded high impact projects such as VAT implementation, digitalization initiative, and operational efficiency improvements. His analytical acumen and forward thinking approach continue to position him as a trusted advisor and thought leader in the evolving landscape of finance. Welcome to the podcast, Saurabh. Please feel free to introduce yourself to the audience.
Thanks for the kind words. To give a quick background to you and the viewers, a chartered accountant with total 20 plus years of experience. Yes, done my executive education from IIM Ahmedabad as well. Currently working in retail industry in Dubai Holding Group, also taking care of my sister company Al Shamsi Holdings, where I'm the group finance director. As a business model, we are basically completely into fashion retail, franchisee retailers of totally 14 brands, mostly European and French. That's the kind of a broad landscape. Prior to this, worked in a retail company in Landmark, and prior to this in India, completely into IT. Right from start, I've been part of business finance, and that's where I grew up to the CFO level.
Nice. Given your FP&A background, your analytical background as well as FP&A, help me understand how do you partner with the business team to be a successful person in your role?
First and foremost, like the foundation of my career is from FP&A, and that's where I kind of grew. It has got a deep impact on how you operate as a CFO, because FP&A is one such department which is the core of business, which needs to be connected with all the sections of business. Most importantly, understanding the actions or analyzing the impact of the actions and translating in the language of numbers. That really helps you. FP&A teaches you more than the numbers. It gives you an ultra zoom to see how every lever of business turns, how it drives. FP&A has been kind of a most important foundation. Being a CFO, I've been part of a co-pilot where profits are primarily my GPS navigation to drive the company. CFO today, he sits on the kind of a crossroad of data and decision. When evaluating, FP&A is a big contributor in shaping me up. It's just the numbers which whispers the patterns. It's more of a leader, how you amplify the purpose. That's where CFO comes into picture, who has got a unique vantage point in aligning the numbers to the strategic guidance and meeting the company's requirements. Tell my team, don't just report, shape it up well, especially when we do the close monthly, quarterly, and so on. Though as an activity we do month close, I would say I open new chapters for the business in the form of sharing insights and what's the most required upcoming actions from the business.
Awesome. Especially in the retail space, what sort of tools currently are you using for the FP&A operation? Is it any specific tools which the team uses?
While our ERP is Navision, of course, Excel stays the way it is. We have implemented during my tenure Power BI. With the gradual increase of Power BI and getting deeper into it, we are learning along the curve. We know we will be getting there because there is so much to harness in Power BI. So these are the kind of primary tools where we are doing all kinds of analysis to extract the maximum business value out of it.
Sure. Does Power BI have this what if analysis where you project your seasonalities like a festival season or a peak or a low peak seasons? Can you do that using Power BI?
Currently, in our touch points in Power BI, I would say no. Maybe if there is a feature, we are yet to explore it. As I said, we have implemented about 1 year ago and we are learning through the curve. So far, I've not seen a focused simulation model, though we do it offline based on the seasonality How we pick is how the trends of a particular store or a brand has been in terms of footfall, the growth so far, any specific product launches which can change it, backed up with our advertisement or marketing program to it. These are the factors which we simulated with a combination of art and some mathematics model, but getting to the perfect shape of an AI-based forecasting, so far I've not seen in Power BI. Yes, there are certain tools which are available outside market, but we are still getting it there.
This is an evolution. I'm sure every tool will evolve itself in this AI world, right? Few people evolve quickly, few people
True.
have the journey. Coming back in retail, timing is everything, right? A delayed shipment means missing sales opportunity. With the current supply chain disruption happening because of the tariff war, how do you manage the financial planning in a fast moving, unpredictable environment? This is one of the big challenge for CFOs.
The biggest certainty is uncertainty. It's given. It has echoed during COVID era, post-COVID era. By the time we were settling, then with the combination of multi-wars in the last 2 years, followed with a recent tariff across the world. Supply chains have been hit. All your input cost has gone up. Having said that, these are the kind of new normal we have to live with and weather the storm. In the retail context, timing is certainly important. We are living in a world where customer waits for no one. Retail moves with the speed of customer. Having said that, we make sure we do enough planning in our inventory and our financial planning to absorb possible shocks or knee-jerk reactions to the best of our estimates, the best case estimates and the worst side estimates. This is doable to a large extent with the help of manpower and most importantly with finance and the inventory going hand in hand like a continuous feedback loop mechanism. In my domain, finance and inventory is a kind of under my command and control. It works like under one integrated network unit where we are constantly synchronizing or reprioritizing our touch points. That has really helped in the end. In the retail context, your first short edge is defines your season.
Awesome. Help me understand. This is two things, right? One is the supply chain angle, and other one is a financial planning angle, right? How integrated is Navision in these two areas, Navision as well as whatever tool you're using, right? Are you happy? Because remember, SAP has something called IBP. It also has tools like Anaplan and stuff like that. Help me understand the viewers about your platform, Navision and Power BI. Maybe you're getting what you want through that platform.
In our current platform where we have Microsoft Navision, it may not be the best of the tools compared to SAP. Having said that, it certainly meets our business requirements in our ways of working, how our indeed architecture of the tool is set, plus our processes, which makes it more light and fast. Point one. Second, when it comes to our inventory or our warehouse, you'll be surprised that even without a WMS system, we are able to replenish our stuff based on our planning first. Second, our certain set of standard processes we carry. Third, the business complexities. While the units or the volume has got enough depth in terms of the combination of style, colors, the collections, and so on, based on those constraints, the existing system suits us. If we have a particular brand which runs hundreds of styles with a different combination of color, style, code, collection, season, maybe our system may fall short. As we said, in a kind of a given ecosystem and the requirements, the existing system may not be the best system or a standard system, but it works. For us, relevance is more important than having the latest system.
No, I agree. The other point, just to get an idea, I remember you telling me what is the number of retail stores you have, especially the Zara retail, just to give the audience a sense of the size of the organization you are dealing with.
In case of Dubai Holding, about 40 plus stores, and in case of Al Shamsi Holdings, about 90, totally about 130 stores spread across GCC. This is a combination of all brands, mostly Inditex based brands, and the other brands from France and other parts of Europe.
What AI ML technology you use? You did say that one of your principals uses it and shares it. Help me understand what sort of intelligence they share in a real-time basis.
When it comes to Inditex, yes, while the core of the systems is within the kind of an Inditex setup, it's more like a fast replenishment model and asset-light model based on the performance so far and the expected performance. The fast replenishment cycles takes place. weekly, twice or thrice the shipment comes straight from port to store. That's how it works. When it comes to the non-Intitex brand, yes, we are using a tool called Inkref, which helps us in supply replenishments as well as interstore transfer. We are managing from end-to-end basis, including replenishments, fresh season buying, and that stuff. This is our context of where AI/ML, not using any particular in-house model of stuff, but with the help of analysis through Power BI dashboards, we try to improve our retail KPIs.
You have done some tax transformation like VAT and corporate tax rollout in the GCC. What were some of the key challenges and how did you lead your team through the change rather?
In the context of that, at that point of time, I was working in Landmark Group. I was more on the business side, facilitating the kind of core implementation, while the core implementation was centrally driven by the central head office. Driving across the company, we were more on the facilitation side. In my current role with corporate tax, I'm running all the three spectrums of strategic, operational, and tactical, where I am the kind of a command and control center, of course, with help of team, able to create or set up a system of corporate tax. This challenges is as in UAE over the last couple of years, the levels of compliance are increasing and we are moving into a new orbit. This requires a complete transformation, not just on a technical front, but also on the cultural front. While these things are more in the compliance, finance is spearheading for implementing, but any successful implementation comes once the other departments are also moving together in the direction where importance of documentation, compliance, aligning your back-end processes. Now you're subject to all kind of corporate tax and moving to IFRS model of accounting and so on. So in case of corporate tax, this is a kind of a great learning where concept of transfer pricing, IFRS, where we are getting deeper into it with the team and we are able to enhance the skills and learning of the team. Second, establishing a base precision and agile back office process which meets the compliance but also meets the business requirements as well. Corporate tax is not just a checkbox for us, it's more like a reputational deterrence where we do things consistently and right.
The VAT deployment, did it come recently?
It had come in UAE in 2018, if I'm not wrong. I was in Landmark, part of the business team, while corporate tax has been in recent last 1 year. And in my current role, I'm spearheading the corporate tax along with my team. I'm creating a legacy in my name for implementation of corporate tax, which is combination of transfer pricing and IFRS because corporate tax requires full-fledged IFRS as well.
You describe your company as a relevant adopter of technology. How do you decide which digital tools and systems are worth investing in, especially when resources and timings are very limited? How do you go through the decision-making process?
In any technology, we take a very pragmatic approach. We pick based on relevance, not just based on its being the latest or the state-of-the-art systems. Always we decide need to have versus nice to have. Point one. Second, most important thing, we always keep questioning within ourselves. Does it really solve the problem? Does it help in sharpening our wisdom, speed of decision making, the quality of decision making? And also, most importantly, by adopting a new technology, is it creating a kind of a burden on our ecosystem? Does it integrate to it so that we remain agile? Over the years, yes, we have implemented Power BI, while compared to the other companies may not be fast enough, but yes, we are happy to implement Power BI. I'll just give you a live example with RPAs over the years, couple of years, which has been a proven successful model for all repetitive, volume-based, algorithm, rule-driven based. RPA is one of the finest ever solution. I had done an extensive study in eliminating certain tasks. For example, in retail, we are completely B2C model. For cash, credit card, repo has been one of the most time-consuming activities of my accountant, which normally takes almost minimum 2 hours per day. This is something I cannot ignore. I cannot get rid of it. At the same time, as a value proposition, I need to do it. It's a part of a daily hygiene activity for a cash and credit card repo. It really costs time. And with the kind of freeze on the hiring, at least with volumes increasing, your loads increasing, you have to find a smarter way. While we had done a study of RPA, though we didn't implement, just with the innovation across, today we have reduced the time from 2 hours to 30 minutes. This is done only in-house. First, by modifying certain IT reports in order to get user-friendly data. Second, getting some data points which were there in the system in the super user but not to a user level. Third, with the Power BI implemented in last 1 year, trying to get some kind of friendly user dashboards. Certain activities got completely eliminated in this process with the help of our IT team, which has been constantly honoring our request, modification of output and that stuff. Maybe if I had implemented RPA, my 2 hours would have reduced to 2 minutes with a one-time cost and a recurring cost for eternal. Today, at zero cost, from 2 hours, I've reduced to 20 minutes. I'm more than happy for it.
Fairly good. Your time which you saved, people will be able to concentrate more on strategic planning and stuff like that compared to the mundane.
And this is a year of compliance in terms of, as I said, corporate tax, IFRS, transfer pricing. By all means, my domains are increasing with the same headcount. And to deliver everything in a better way, I'll have to do some kind of innovative fix. May not be a perfect solution, even if it meets 80-90% plus, it will be a kind of a breather.
That's a very good point. Give me a sense, what is your size of your finance team? What is the size of your IT team in terms of headcount?
In IT team, we have about 5 or 6 people. In the case of finance in Dubai Holding Group, about 6 people. That's it. Accounts manager to accountant, just about 6 people. In my sister company, Al Shamsi Holding, about 7 people.
6 plus 7, yeah, 11 or 12.
Over the past 4 years, I've added only one incremental headcount, whereas in terms of my stores, we have increased by 50% count. With 50% increase in store, which means obvious 50% increase in volumes, plus your other task increase.
Wow, wow. I saw your background about learning SQL in the earlier stage of the career. How important is technical fluency for a CFO? What advice you have for financial professionals who are preparing for the future?
I've always emphasized the importance of learning in the form of upskilling as well, technical skills, soft skills, digital skills, right? No one can win the game without knowing technology. But that does not mean technology is the only thing. No need to understand or get into each and every technology, then you're a lost case. Having said that, yes, in recent past, about in the last 2 years, I've upskilled myself in terms of SQL. I've done basic and intermediate level as well in understanding how the system works, more from a data science standpoint for it. Of course, we are learning the curve for Power BI. I also have plans to do Power BI certification in the coming future as well. For the aspiring CFOs, I would say in terms of digital, make sure you are aware of the most relevant tools, may not be the latest tools in the market. Second, keep updated yourself on the industry trends in the form of either reading through journals or attending events. I make sure I attend at least 90% of the events, whether they are in the industry or a profession or organized by my ICA Dubai chapter over here. It's in that networking information, you get so much of intelligence. You get to know what's happening. At least you get to know what not to be done. At least the easiest, the fastest, and the best learning is to learn from others' mistakes. These are something which you don't have to do. There is a high chance you will always fall on the right track.
That's very good advice because I've seen there are some early adopters who take the risk. Portfolio is much different. They take the risk, evaluate, and then come up and say, hey, I've done this. This is not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is this. Especially the peers in the market who have tried this before, share that wisdom with the community. The community will be benefited. It's a very good strategy. Recently, I went to High Radius conference because of a partnership. I was amazed to see how customers were able to share where their issues were and how they resolved it, how everybody came together. See, these sort of conferences, the newcomers or the new adopters, they are immensely profitable in terms of learning what not to do and do the right thing. I learned few good things in attending the CIO conference thanks to you coming to Dubai. Basically, it's a fairly good network of people who share what their experiences as with the communities. How often do you guys meet? Is it monthly?
These conferences normally happens at least twice or thrice a year. I know I sometimes miss certain conferences because, for example, recently there was a blockchain thing and all that stuff. While blockchain is the latest hype in the market with all the technology, as I said, for us, relevance is more important than being latest stuff. So something which is completely outside my domain is what I've skipped. Normally, these conferences happen at least 2 to 4 times in a year. different stages, different platforms. Besides that, of course, my local ICI Dubai chapter, there are plenty of events, technical, social events. You get a lot of learning over there as well.
Apart from the conference, do you read journals or podcasts? For the viewers on the finance or accounting side, do you listen to any specific podcast?
I do read journals. In fact, I'm a regular reader of Harvard Business Review. When I had gone to IIM Ahmedabad, one of the professors said, nothing wrong in subscribing to a Harvard paid business review, but it gives you by default 6 articles to read every month. I felt that was like something which, had I known many years when I started my career, I would be in a different way. At least from then on, I'm kind of a regular reader. Many good articles, because generally Harvard has got very sharp, crisp, relevant. I save it and I reread it always. In addition to that, I do read books as well. The current book I'm reading is Think Like an Entrepreneur, Act Like a CEO. This is in progress. One book which has got a deep impact in my thought process is What CEO Really Wants You to Know. This is a book written by R. Gopal Krishnan, who is some top guy or ex Tata guy. He's been into their board. This book is something I've read multiple times. I do refresh it as well. It has got a deeper impact in influencing my thought process. I do read books, journals, articles, and yes, podcasts. I'll certainly start. I do see some TED Talks for it.
That's really good. It's been a great conversation, Saurabh. I really appreciate your time to come and share your experience with the audience. Final thoughts for the audience given what we discussed so far?
On the domain front or as a CFO, as I said, it's from more on FP&A, though I'm a CFO, that analyst mind is always working for me. I would say from action to analysis, caution to conviction. I would simply frame it. For me, success measure is more like sensor to shooter concept. You are seeing something, you're sensing something which is going on track or off track, and you're shooting it down. This is my key takeaways for the listeners.
Thank you, Saurabh. I gained personally a few good tips from you on how to be a successful CFO. Looking forward, for the viewers, you can expect similar podcasts from us, from thought leaders. Thank you.